is the man, there is the one lady over here, and the same condition has appeared. Both of these are the normal. Very warm welcome to our biology class. Today in this class, we will discuss regarding the phenylketonuria. It is one of the autosomal Mendelian recessive disorder. What does it mean? Autosomal means the gene which is responsible for this disease located on the autosomes. And we consider it as a Mendelian disorder. Why? Because it is the disorder which is getting inherited from one generation to the next generation. The diseases which are getting inherited from one generation to the next generation, such disorders are called as a Mendelian disorders. And we consider it as a recessive. It means the person or the child only get this particular phenylketonuria disease whenever that child, both the parents are carrier. Then and then only the child become affected. Otherwise, no. So, because it is the recessive disorder. And this is inborn error of metabolism of phenylalanine. What happens in this particular disorder, students? There is an error in the metabolism of phenylalanine, one of the amino acid. Now, to understand it better, first of all, let us understand first how the phenylalanine, this amino acid, is going to be metabolized in our body. Then and then only we can able to understand the error which is occurs in the metabolism of phenylalanine. Then first we will understand regarding the normal metabolism of phenylalanine. Students, whenever we take a food, that food contains carbohydrates and proteins and even fats are there. All that contains are there. But mainly, it is the problem with the phenylalanine. It is one of the amino acid. Means it is a part of protein. So hence I have taken here the proteins. Then how does the proteins made up of, students? They are made by the number of amino acids. So all these amino acids are linked with a peptide bond and the proteins are formed. Now, suppose this type of food, whenever we take it and we started to chew it, and after that we swallow it and it receives the stomach, and after that the digestion occurs in the stomach, and then it started to enter into the small intestine where it is going to be absorbed. Means by that time what happens? The protein will be completely digested in presence of the enzyme. Means whatever that bond is there, that bond is gone now. And hence what? All the amino acids are get free in our small intestine. And these amino acids are started to absorb and transported to each and every body parts. In these amino acids, there is a phenylalanine, one of the amino acids is also there. Means now phenylalanine is also started to transport after absorption. Do you know that what happens with this phenylalanine? It started to metabolize. This phenylalanine, whenever it reached to the liver, in the liver, phenylalanine started to convert into the tyrosine. To convert this tyrosine, there is an enzyme required. What is that enzyme then? The enzyme is phenylalanine hydroxylase. What is the role of this phenylalanine hydroxylase? It will be convert phenylalanine to the tyrosine. Then why we require the tyrosine then? What is the role of tyrosine? Tyrosine helps in maintaining normal brain function. And the tyrosine is even act as an precursor for the melanin pigmentation. All of you know that what is the role of melanin? Melanin is the one which helps in bringing our skin pigmentation as well as hair pigmentation. They are all going to occur with the help of tyrosine. I hope now you understood how the tyrosine is getting available. Once we had a food, that food contains the protein. Protein will be get digested and amino acid get separated, and all those amino acids will be get absorbed and started to transport. But whenever the amino acid transport and brought to the liver, in that amino acid, phenylalanine is also one of them, and that phenylalanine is converting into the tyrosine with the help of the phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme, and then that tyrosine is going to be utilized to maintain our normal brain function, as well as that tyrosine is act as a precursor for melanin pigment formation. Now, to form the phenylalanine hydroxylase, whatever this enzyme is there, we need to have a gene for that. Now, observe here. This is the main thing you need to understand over here. Okay. Suppose these are the homologous chromosome pair number 12. On this 12th chromosome, we used to see the presence of a gene which is responsible for the formation of phenylalanine hydroxylase. Consider that over here the gene is there, and here there is a one more gene. Okay, suppose this chromosome we have received from the father, this chromosome we have received from the mother. So both these are the genes which are responsible for the formation of phenylalanine. Actually, what happens, students? These genes will express and leads into the formation of mRNA, and that mRNA is going to be translated into the protein, and that protein is become finally function phenylalanine hydroxylase, and it will help in converting the phenylalanine to the tyrosine. Now suppose one of the person has received the such chromosome, that chromosome has a defective gene. You might be observing this gene is now defective. Yeah, then what will happen? It will not express and forms the mRNA. Then whether by that time the person is going to suffer with a phenylalanine? No. Why not? Because there is a one more normal gene is there. Then suppose now even the person has received this gene also affected. Both the genes are affected now. So due to that, what happens? Now there is a no availability of mRNA which is required for the phenylalanine hydroxylase formation. Now that will leads into the absence of phenylalanine hydroxylase. Suppose now whenever the phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme is going to be absent, what will happen then? That will result into accumulation of phenylalanine. Phenylalanine starts to accumulate in our body. Then what will happen after accumulation? It will convert into the phenylketone bodies. It will lead into conversion of phenylpyruvic acid and other derivatives. Got it, students? What happened? Due to the absence of this enzyme. Why this enzyme is being absent down here? Because both these genes are found affected. One from the father, one from the mother. They have received, but both the genes are received as affected genes only, or defective genes. They are not able to produce the mRNA. Hence what? There is a no phenylalanine hydroxylase. Hence what? Phenylalanine is not converting into the tyrosine. And due to that, what happens? Phenylalanine started to get accumulate in the body. After accumulating, what happens with this phenylalanine? It is converting into the phenylpyruvic acid as well as other derivatives of the phenylalanine. Then what is going to start to accumulate now? These components are started to get accumulated in the body. Listen now, whenever these components are started to get accumulated, then of course these functions are going to be affected. Why? Because there is no availability of the tyrosine. Yeah, so that will result into the mental retardation. Are you getting my point? It will result into mental retardation. As you know that tyrosine is required for the normal functioning of the brain. But now there is no tyrosine. Hence what? What happens? That child is started to suffer with a mental retardation. As well as that will result into reduced skin pigmentation. Why there is a reduced skin pigmentation? Because there is no availability of the tyrosine. And the tyrosine is the one which is required act as a precursor for the melanin pigmentation. Due to the absence of this, what will happen? The skin color is started to become fade, and not only that, students, it will result into reduced hair pigmentation also. Yeah, why there is a reduced hair pigmentation? Because hair pigmentation also occurs with the help of the melanin only, and there is no melanin synthesis by this time. Yeah, this is what going to happen in the individuals, those who are suffering with a phenylketonuria. Now, listen, students, how we can able to diagnose this type of disease then? What we can do now? Yeah, how we can able to find it out? Yeah, this particular disorder. For the diagnosis, you can go for urine testing. For what? For the presence of ketone bodies in the urine. Why the ketone bodies are formed, students? Because whatever the phenyl pyruvate is there, that phenyl pyruvate is going to converting into the now phenyl ketone bodies, and that ketone bodies we are going to be obtaining or observing in the urine. Okay, you just remember now why we are considering the urine or why we are taking urine for the testing, because it is easy to collect and it is easy to even diagnosis. Accumulated phenyl pyruvate converted into the phenyl ketone bodies, and we are going to test for the presence of the phenyl ketone bodies in the urine. And you should remember, students, whatever this phenyl ketone bodies are there, they will easily get excreted through the urine, along with the urine, because the reason is they are very poor in the absorption. Yeah. You know that, students, in the tubular part of the nephron, the reabsorption occurs. But here we should not use the word reabsorption. It is the absorption, because phenyl pyruvates are not going to absorb earlier. If it is absorbed earlier, then we can use the word reabsorption. But here we should not use the word reabsorption. Absorption of the phenyl pyruvate or the phenyl pyruvic acids, or even we can say that the absorption of the ketone bodies, phenyl ketone bodies, is very, very poor in the tubular part of the nephron. Hence, what it started to excrete more and more through the urine, and we can easily diagnosis by observing the presence of the ketone bodies in the urine. This is what the way how we can able to diagnose. Now, suppose if the person is found affected, then what you can do, students? What are the treatment you can give him? Yeah, only thing you need to do is, here we are not able to treat it well. Why? Because it is the problem with a gene. Yeah, gene therapy you can do by that time, but it is very, very costly, and anyone will not able to go for that. Okay, then what suggestion we can give to that particular child or to that particular child's parents? Only you can tell them not to take the protein-based food material. Yeah. Now we'll understand here how that is going to be get inherited by considering the pedigree analysis. Suppose this is the man, and he have the chromosome pair number 12. Okay? These are the homologous chromosome, but one he has received the normal gene and one he has received the affected gene from this particular man's parent. Okay? From the man's parent, he has received from the father, suppose this normal gene, from the mother this gene 12th chromosome has received. Now there is a one lady over here, and even in her also the same condition has appeared. 12th chromosome, one is a normal gene has received from the father, suppose, and one is a affected gene has received from the mother, of whom this particular lady's parents I'm talking. Yeah, from them she has received the such type of conditions. Now, suppose both of these are the normal, they are not going to show any phenylketonuria. Why? Because there is a one normal gene is there, and this is the recessive disorder. Hence, what it is not showing any its characteristics. Now, suppose for example, both of them are got married, and then they had a children's. Total 4 children. Suppose here the first and last child are the male kids are there, and the second and third are the female kids are there. Now, suppose in this particular child, whether the 12th chromosome, one from the father, one from the mother, is going to receive in every child or not. Okay, you can observe here. Suppose this has received into normal gene has or normal chromosome has received from the father, and again the normal chromosome from the mother also received into this particular child. Then what will happen here? You can observe, students. So this is what the chromosome has received. This is what the chromosome has received. Then what will happen? This particular child is going to become normal only, not at all show any characteristics. Okay. Then suppose in this way, now this child has received this affected gene, and from the mother also affected gene. What will happen then? This child is going to be found affected, and we are going to be show the filled one. Yeah, those who are all affected one. You can observe here filled circle. It means that the female child which is affected, and this is the child. Normal chromosome has received from the father, but affected chromosome has received from the mother. Then what will happen? This child is not shows any characteristics, but this is the carrier. Yeah, we can consider them as a carrier. It means both the parents are also carrier over here. Yeah, and whatever last child is there, male child is there, it found affected. Why affected? Because 12th, this affected gene chromosome has received, and again from the father, mother also, same affected chromosome has received. Hence, what this child has become affected. Okay, so this is what the way how we can able to say. Yeah, I told you students what to do for this all to avoid if the person has found affected. Avoid the protein based food. This is what all about the phenylketonuria. I hope you are all properly understood about the phenylketonuria. Yeah, remember that the gene found on the chromosome number 12. Yeah, and this is inborn error of metabolism of the phenylalanine amino acid. Yeah, that phenylalanine normally has to be converted into the tyrosine, but if the child has received both the affected genes, by that time, what will happen? The phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme won't get produced. Hence, what? Phenylalanine won't convert into the tyrosine. Due to that, phenylalanine started to get accumulated, converting into the phenyl pyruvic acid as well as some other derivatives. And due to the accumulation of the such things in the brain, that will lead into the mental retardation. And even skin is started to become fade, and as well as hair started to become fade. Okay, and even there are so many other characteristics are there. So like particular type of the odor is smell is started to come out of the body. So such many other symptoms are there. But these are the symptoms exactly from the NCERT book we have taken. I hope you are all properly understood about it. Thank you for listening to the class.